Hello guys and welcome back to another Genshin video. Today I'm actually going to be doing a Xingqiu guide. For those who don't know, Xingqiu is one of the best supports in the game. You can put him in nearly every single composition and it will just perform greatly. You guys also seem to be enjoying my guides the most, so I'll make sure to do more of them. Today I'm going to be showing off his talents, constellations, best teams, best artifacts, and best weapons. So let's get on to the video. For those who don't know, Xingqiu is a water sword character, which he really specializes in the support class of Genshin. Now let's take a look at his talents. His normal attack is just a basic 5 rapid strikes with a sword. No one really cares about this that much because his other abilities are just insanely crazy and better. His elemental skill, Xingqiu performs twin strikes with his sword, dealing hydro damage. At the same time, this ability creates a maximum number of rain swords, which will orbit your active character. The rain swords that orbit your character have the following effects. When a character takes damage, the rain sword will shatter and reduce the amount of damage taken. And it increases the character's resistance to interruption. 20% of Xingqiu's hydro damage bonus will be converted to additional damage reduction for the rain swords. The maximum amount of additional damage reduction can be gained this way is 24%. The initial maximum number of rain swords is 3. Using this ability applies wet status onto the character. His R2 is really good. It gets you a lot of damage reduction, and you can get a whole bunch of additional damage reduction based on Xingqiu's hydro damage bonus. And here's his scaling for his R2. The first hit does 235%, and the second hit does 268%, with a damage reduction ratio of 25%, duration of 15%, and a cooldown of 21%. So it's a really long cooldown. But as you can see later, if you get one of the weapons, that cooldown can just basically mean nothing. Now his burst, which is actually the thing that makes him actually crazy. Initiate Rainbow Blade Work and fight using an illusionary sword rain, while created the maximum number of raid swords. Now what his burst actually does, is your active character's normal attacks will trigger consecutive sword rain attacks, dealing hydro damage. Rain swords will remain at the maximum number throughout the ability's duration. So as you see over here on his R2, the maximum rain sword is 3, but during his burst you can keep 3 no matter what, even if you get hit. His sword rain damage is 76%, which seems pretty low. It actually shoots off multiple swords at once. You can times 76% by 3 and 5 times, and that will be your actual percentage. It actually lasts for 15 seconds, his cooldown 20 seconds, and has energy cost of 80, which is pretty hefty, but that's alright to be honest. And for leveling up Xingqiu's talents, I do believe you should go Burst, R2, and Normal Attack, if you even decide to level up Normal Attack, cause now his first passive talent is when a rain sword is shattered or when its duration expires, you will gain HP based on 6% of Xingqiu's max HP. So you can actually heal a little bit, not that much, but he can heal a little bit. His second passive is just insane, just gains a 20% hydro damage bonus, 3 damage. And then his last passive talent is when Xingqiu crafts character talent materials, there's a 25% chance to refund a portion of the crafting materials used, which is really helpful when you're trying to farm out talent books and just don't want to farm out anymore. Let's take a look at his constellations. His first constellation increases the maximum number of rain swords by 1. So you know how his R2 gets a maximum of 3 rain swords? Now it's 4. More damage reduction, more heals? Okay. Great constellation all in all. Constellation 2 extends the duration of his burst by 3 seconds, and decreases the hydro resistance of opponents hit by sword rain attacks by 15%. So his burst is gonna last longer and reduce hydro resistance of opponents. Amazing constellation once again. Constellation 3 just levels up his elemental burst. Constellation 4. Constellation 4. Throughout the duration of his elemental burst, the damage dealt by his elemental skill is increased by 50%. So even more damage. Okay. Constellation 5 increases the level of his elemental skill. Constellation 6. Activating 2 of his elemental burst's sword rain attacks greatly enhances the third sword rain attack. On hit, the third sword rain attack also generates 3 energy for Xingqiu. If you're confused on what that means, I'm gonna show you right now. So basically, Xingqiu's burst has a combo with it. See, the first attack did 2, then the next attack did 3, and then 2, and then 3. So there's a 2 and 3 combo. But if you have Constellation 6, it'll go from 2 swords, to 3 swords, to 5 swords on his burst. Which is actually insane, it increases his damage output by so much. So all in all, Xingqiu's constellations are some of the best constellations in the entire game. Each one just adds on more and more buffs, and none of them are bad or lackluster. There is Xingqiu's constellations. Now for Xingqiu's weapon, the hands down best weapon you can ever have for Xingqiu, no matter what, is the sacrificial sword. Remember when I said that we don't have to worry about the cooldown of his R2 for it being 21 seconds? That's where the sacrificial sword comes in. After damaging an opponent with an elemental skill, the skill has a 40% chance to end its own cooldown. Can only occur every 30 seconds. And of course, that percentage does rise as you get more refinements for the sword. Now this is a hands down best sword for Xingqiu, just so you can pop your R2 twice in a row and get a whole lot of energy out of him. And on top of that, the sacrificial sword has an energy recharge substat. So this sword is absolutely crazy for him. Not even any 5-star weapons can compare for this weapon for Xingqiu. So if you have a sacrificial sword, use it on Xingqiu. But if you don't have a sacrificial sword, I don't really know. Maybe Festering a Zai could be a good option, increases the damage of his elemental skill. And also Favonia's sword has an energy recharge substat, and has an ability to help you with even more energy recharge. But all in all, Sacrificial Sword is the best sword for Xingqiu. Now his artifacts. There are 2 ways you can build Xingqiu in my opinion. You can either run 4-piece Noblesse Oblige, or you can run 2-piece Noblesse and 2-piece Heart of Death. So, cause as you can see here, Noblesse increases my elemental burst damage, and increases the attack by party members after I use my burst. But, use the 4-piece Noblesse if you already have somebody on your team that uses the 4-piece Noblesse. Cause the 4-piece cannot stack. For example, my Mona has 4-piece Noblesse. Say I put Xingqiu and Mona on the same team, and I proc both of the elemental burst, I still only get 20% attack for my teammates. So if you have anyone else on the party that already runs 4-piece Noblesse, then I recommend you run 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Heart of Death. Cause 2-piece Heart of Death increases hydro damage bonus by 15%, and 2-piece Noblesse increases your burst damage, which you know his burst damage is crazy, and increases hydro damage bonus, which will be even more crazier, and get more damage reduction on his elemental skill. So once again, I would run Noblesse unless someone on the team already has Noblesse. Now for the stats you want to get on your Xingqiu. For your Xingqiu, you want to get energy recharge, crit rate, and crit damage. So for my flower, you see I have a really good flower on my Xingqiu. This Xingqiu's artifact is kinda dog water, but that's alright. And I have an attack percentage sans on my Xingqiu. If you are running low on energy recharge, you can win an energy recharge sans, but if you do have Sacrificial Sword and just hope you get some good energy recharge stats on your artifacts, you can win an attack percentage sans like I am right now. Cause as you can see, I got 17.5% energy recharge on this sans. And on all my other artifacts, I also have energy recharge, so I'm getting more than plenty. And then of course on your goblet, you want hydro damage bonus. And for the circlet, you can either get crit rate or crit damage based on your ratio. Don't mind the level 0 artifact, I kinda switched an artifact from him, so once again, try to get energy recharge, crit rate, crit damage, and attack. Get an attack percentage goblet, unless you're running low on energy recharge, then switch that one for an energy recharge. And your set bonus should be either 4-piece Noblesse or 2-piece Noblesse and 2-piece Heart of Death. 199.7 energy recharge on my Xingqiu. You should get around 160 to 180 to be really consistent with your energy recharge on Xingqiu. That is about the range you want to be at. Now the best teams with Xingqiu, as I said in the beginning, he can go with like a lot of groups. He can be so compatible with any group you want. But you want to pair him up with a main damage dealer that procs a lot of a certain element. For example, this could be a good team for Xingqiu. Diluc does proc a lot of Pyro and infuses his weapon with Pyro. And Xingqiu with his burst will also attack with Diluc and pop Vaporize everywhere going crazy. You could also put him in a permanent freeze comp. Imagine this is Ayaka, because I don't got Ayaka, so yep. Since Ayaka can infuse her weapon with Cryo, and Xingqiu attacks alongside her, you can infinitely freeze people. It's actually insane what you can do. You could also put him in a 4-star team like this, where Sukos is your actually main damage dealer for the swirls, but she doesn't actually do the damage. She helps everybody else do damage. So for example, this is an Electro Charge team with Beidou and Xingqiu, and then Bennett of course for the support and extra attack, and the heals. So there's a lot of combinations you can do with Xingqiu. I can't go over all the teams because I don't have all the characters, but if you do want to look up some more teams, there are plenty of videos of him being in 4-star teams that 32-star Abyss. And he's just super compatible with everybody, he's actually insane. Alright, here we go, this is the Vaporized Team. So I'm going to pop his R2, I'm going to pop the Bennett, pop Xingqiu's burst. And as you can see, look at that. He just starts attacking with your active character. And I can infuse some power into my Diluc. And then I'll probably go a whole bunch of electro charge on him right now. Just switch over. And his ulti actually reset because Sacrificial Sword, because Sacrificial Sword on him is just insane. And then look at the Vaporize on him. There we go. So as you can see just from that quick example, Xingqiu can help out your team a lot, give you some damage reduction, give you some healing, and increase your overall damage. And that's pretty much all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As you can see, Xingqiu is actually insane if you didn't know that already. And you can go to so many team comps, he's just super versatile. I hope now you know what weapons, what artifacts, what talents to level up, and what teams to put him in. And that's all for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye bye.